Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Brad Martz. I'm the Manager of Education Programs at NRCA. Today's webinar is a presentation by Heidi Ellsworth and is the final part of a four-part series on sales and marketing for your roofing business. Today's discussion will focus on how to creatively accomplish your marketing goals. A little bit about Heidi. She has worked in the roofing industry for more than 20 years. She recently launched HJE Consulting Group, which focuses on supporting overall marketing strategies and implementation, along with providing consulting to build strong collaboration between sales and marketing teams for business profitability and success. Heidi is quite active in the roofing industry. She serves on the boards of the Western States Roofing Contractors Association and Florida Roofing and Sheet Metal Contractors Association. And fairly recently, she helped found the National Women in Roofing Association, where she serves as chairperson for the organization. And we also want to mention that NRCA offers its contractor members sales and marketing consultation through HJE Consulting. And these members now have the opportunity for a 30-minute consultation call with Heidi, supported by ongoing sales and marketing articles, webinars, and seminars. A few housekeeping details on your control panel. There is a chat box or questions box. You will have an opportunity to ask Heidi questions. So feel free to type in your question at any point during today's webinar, and Heidi will address them towards the end of her presentation. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be posted to the NRCA website early next week. That's enough for me, so Heidi, take over from here, please.
Thank you, Brad. And thank you very much, Brad, for everything you've done this year with this series. NRCA is amazing, and Brad's educational webinars every week is incredible. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for being, hopefully you've seen most of these webinars in this four-part series. Today we're going to wrap up this series with really looking at how can you creatively really obtain some of this marketing, be able to do it, and it's the perfect time as we're getting ready to go into the new year, perfect time to launch that new marketing plan and get a really great budget that isn't going to break the bank. But for many of the companies out there, you all do amazing roofing, amazing waterproofing systems. You protect the buildings of this country, in all honesty. But sometimes taking that, what you do so well, and talking about it through sales and through marketing is not as easy as you think it would be. So we want to talk today about how do you make this not overwhelming and not so expensive that it breaks the bank. How do you really take what you do so well, share it, market it, sell it in order to turn around and have a very profitable and strong and growing company. So when we started out the series, we started about evaluating your business. Hopefully you've all had a chance to do that. And then we talked about lead generation, getting those people into your system, understanding who they are, getting the leads, and then building promoters. Once you have them, once you have their attention, once they've purchased a roof from you, how do you keep them delighted? And that really is this chart. And I've had this on during every webinar because this is so important. As you're thinking about how do I do this, it really boils down to this. You attract them, you convert them by asking them to take action, you close them with your amazing sales team, and then you continue to delight them with information about your company, about your community service, about whatever you're doing. And that's what we talked about in the last webinar, really that creating promoters and delighting them. So now, today, we're going to really talk about, okay, how do I afford all this? How do I make it happen? And we're going to go through a number of ideas. We'll end up at the end really talking a little bit about a marketing plan and budgeting and how you can wrap this all up into a great big bow so you can deliver it into the new year. So first, and I know there may be a few oohs and ahs like, groans, but we always start with technology. Technology is the foundation of everything that we're doing today, and we need to be able to incorporate and to understand, build that foundation of technology in our company. And that is going to be a change for some companies out there. Some of you may already have everything you need with your CRM, with your cloud-based software, with your estimating. Many of you may not. And you may even be asking yourselves, why? Why do we even need to worry about that? Because having good technology that fits your business actually saves you money. Through processes, through communication, through speed of delivery, all of those essential parts of a strong technology program in your business save money down the road. A little painful sometimes in the middle, but it saves money and it helps to grow your business and to communicate more effectively with your audience. So one of the first things as you are looking at this marketing plan and as you're looking at this budget is you need to put together and really figure out what the technology in your company is going to look like. And in order to use that technology, you need to ask some key questions up front. So once you find a CRM, customer relationship management program, and there are many out there that are cloud-based, you have some server-based still, where you can gather all of your contact information, all of your customers, potential customers, past customers, into one place. And that is so important because then you can start obtaining data. When did they have their last roofing project? When's their next one? What do they need? They just had a roof done. Do they need windows or siding? Depending on whether you're residential or commercial, all of that data will help you either with the next sell or referrals. And most of the time, both of them. So as you're looking at how you keep your contacts, if they are currently in a filing system, if they are in an Excel document, if they're in Outlook, you need to take the time over these winter months to really look at a strong CRM where you can put everything in one place. And many of those CRMs have project management and accounting. So as you look through that, really think about, okay, what do I need for my business? And you need to ask the type of questions, even before you get to these financial questions, you also need to be asking, does it fit my business model? Does it work for residential? Does it work for commercial? How is it going to effectively streamline my processes and help my employees and my customers and for us to grow our business? So once you've kind of narrowed down the ones that fit your business model, from a budget and a marketing standpoint, you want to ask things like, how are the annual licensing fees? How does that work? And how many users at a time can I have on the system? That is really important because if you are focused on delivering rooftop speed to delivery, so inspections, updates, maintenance, and service, if you have a technician on the roof with an iPad, you want that technician to be able to go directly up to your software and your CRM and upload it for the customers so that they can see what's going on. So you really kind of need to think it's not just the people in the office, but it's going to be your operations, your sales, across the board, your accounting, that people can put information into that system. So a number of users is very important. And also, what's the process for backing up data? And how often do you get it? That is really key. Data is a major resource and investment for you. It is value for your company because you know what your customers are doing and you understand their needs for their roofing, whether that's residential or commercial. And so you want to be sure that not only you know how to back it up and you know how it's being protected, but also if you decide to change programs, you need to understand how you get that data back, that you own it, and are there cancellation fees for that? So looking through those types of things are very important questions to ask because it means dollars in the marketing budget or in the other parts of your budget. Also, as you're looking at these technologies, be sure to make sure it integrates. One of the ways to be very creative is to work with your distributor, your manufacturer, to work with your service providers, and then also working with that technology provider. How does it all integrate? Where will it save me money in other places? So, for example, maybe it integrates with aerial measurement reports, and because of that, with an affinity program, you're going to get a better price. That saves money. And it's great for your marketing because now you have aerial imagery, you have the measurements, you can talk about what you're doing technology-wise to make it better for your customers. Also, how does it, when we talk about working with your distributors, can you order online? Is that going to save you money? How does it integrate? Those are important questions to ask and can really save money in a very kind of subtle way that you may not even think of, where when you have several separate systems, you are spending a lot of time, or your employees are spending a lot of time going different places. And finally, what kind of support? Because bringing technology into the business is a cultural shift. You're going from paper and those types of processes, whiteboards, to everything being on a screen, being on an iPad, being on a laptop. That's a change, and it's going to take time. So you need to make sure they have excellent customer support and that they have great on-site training. So those are some of the things you can ask, and it really, at the end of the day, will make a difference as you start budgeting, because you're going to really know how that technology, how it's going to work within your sales and marketing program. The other must, the other foundational piece to this is a website. And I'm sure pretty much everybody on this call has a website. If you do not, you need to. This is how people find us. The next generations, this is how they are going to find us. They aren't going to pick up the phone. They're going to look on the web. They're going to do searches for you. They're going to try to understand what type of roofing you offer and look at the culture that comes through on that website. So as we are budgeting and looking at how to creatively accomplish our marketing, we need to know that at the bottom, at the very foundation of all of this, is going to be this website. Everything will rotate around that and the CRM, which is why I'm spending a little bit of time on that right up front. So as we're talking about websites, CRMs, and in time we're going to get to the media and the advertising and printing and all those kind of things, how do you make those decisions? How do you know which ones to use? One of the best resources you have are your associations. NRCA has tremendous amounts of resources on these topics where you can actually call in for consulting that Brad mentioned. You can talk to the NRCA staff. You can talk to other contractors who are not right in your area, not your competitors, but people that you can talk to and say, how did you do this? What website provider are you using? What CRM? How has that worked for you? That is a huge resource, because one, the marketing world in general does not always understand roofing. They're not going to understand your needs. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more here soon, about agencies and consultants. But these roofing associations understand. They understand 100%, and the other contractors who are involved understand. So networking with them to find out what they've used successfully, what hasn't worked, which is just as important, and then relying on these resources really makes a big difference for not recreating the wheel, which is saving money. Also look at your regional associations. Same thing. They have great resources. They have your local trade shows. You obviously have the IRE coming up with the national show. All of these places will help you make some good decisions that will save you money down the road. And really look at the continuing education factor for you and for your sales and marketing employees. By coming up in March is the IRE. That is a great time to send some of your employees or for yourself to go to these classes. There are classes on marketing. There are classes on social media. There are classes on CRMs and technology. Those type of programs will help you learn more so you can make the type of decisions that will keep your budget intact. You will learn from other people and from other experts in the industry who really understand roofing. And where I've seen most of contractors who have really been disappointed with their marketing spends is when they have worked with agencies or with other companies that do not understand roofing. And they have found that they've spent a lot of money training those groups about what roofing is instead of having them deliver what they needed for their sales and marketing program. So even these kind of webinars, obviously everyone who's on today, you already know this, but these are the type of things that you need to continue to look for, and they are at many of all the regional shows and definitely at the IRE coming up in the new year. Another one is networking groups. There are some really good networking groups out there that can help. There are fees associated, so you need to look at that and see what the cost would be. But you get to, again, talk to other contractors. And a lot of these networks really focus on certain things. So for example, Certified Contractor Network, they focus on sales training and on business training, and mostly for residential and exteriors. But there's some commercial there too. There are other groups like that within, and other companies like that, that again, as you are kind of doing your research and as you are talking to other contractors, ask them, have you been in networking groups? Have you been in peer groups? How does that work for you, and what kind of value has that brought back to your company and to your sales and marketing program? And this is a big one for me, your vendors. So for many years, I've worked for companies like Malarkey Roofing, like Carlisle, and EcoStar, great companies that all provided amazing loyalty programs and business building programs. These companies that are out there, they want to help their contractors grow their business. So before you spend any money, you need to ask these questions. You need to go to your distributors. You need to go to your manufacturers and to your technology and service providers and ask them, how can you help me grow my business? If I give you my loyalty and I love your product and I want to sell it, what kind of printed material can you give me that will help me sell that shingle to that homeowner? What kind of material can you give me that will help me sell that TPO roof to that building owner? Those are the types of collateral and products that cost very little and help you have a very polished and professional look as you are talking to your customers. And many of these groups, a lot of it is free. Some of it is free with loyalty, so you use points to get that collateral, to get the materials, and it can be all the way up to trade show booths. Just depends on the group. Definitely they will have technology. There's a number of them that have aerial measurements. You can find a lot of stuff, and as you probably all know, your distributors, whoever you're working with, you definitely need to talk to them. They have amazing affinity programs where you can actually get great pricing on printing, on signage, across the board technology, even advertising. They will help you to grow your business because that helps them. So before you spend any money in a marketing budget, these need to be your stops: the associations, the networks, and the distributors, manufacturers, and service and technology providers. And ask those questions, because your brand loyalty to them and what you're doing is very important, and they can help you keep your sales and marketing budget lean because they really want to get their information out there. It's a win-win for everybody involved. And ask for, across the board, for any affinity programs to give you some buying power to help you. You may be able to work with your regional association and find out, oh, I can get shipping at a really great price because I'm a member, and that membership, what you've gotten on shipping more than pays for your membership. So look at those types of things. And as you're going through it, some of the questions that you're going to want to ask are things like, how does your volume or point-based contractor program work? Understand it. You know, having a whole drawer full of invoices and receipts in December and trying to get all that done in time to get your points when you really could have started in January and made it very easy and streamlined. Those are the kind of things that you want to put in place right now for the new year so that you can really take advantage of the materials, the collateral, the services that are available. They also, like I already said, they will do writing for you, developing brochures and websites, and they will, there's many where you can buy at a great discount lawn signs, banners, door hangers, but you got to ask. You need to be sure to ask them these questions. And continuing education. Obviously, the associations do an amazing job of that, but so do manufacturers and so do distributors. They want you to grow your business. They are going to provide as much continuing education as they can for your success. And again, ask about that integration of technology. If you can integrate, if you can be involved with what's going on with your distributor so you can order online, that's pretty powerful for your streamlining of your business. If you can work with the manufacturer and have a visualization tool for your customers where they can change the color of the roof, that's really powerful in your sales process. Find out what kind of technologies they offer, what they can do for you. And then, again, just how does it work? Make sure you understand the rules. You don't want to put a lot of work into it and then find out, oh, I did it wrong. So take the time, or have someone in your company take the time to really figure out, and obviously you need to figure out who you want to work with, what shingle, what commercial low-slope system, what technology, what fits your culture of your business, and then work together with them for success. So once you've really looked at the roofing industry for all of those resources we just talked about, then you need to look local, because if you are a residential contractor, you're going to be looking at doing advertising, probably in television, possibly radio, possibly newspaper, depending on your market and where you're at. If you're a commercial contractor, you're going to really be looking at being involved with the BOMA, property management groups, apartment groups. You know, depending on what you do, you're going to have either be involved with a business journal or the local TV station. So as you are working on budgeting and putting this together, because these are going to be some dollars, you may have some co-op dollars from your manufacturers that you can use towards this, which is great. And then you want to also talk to these media groups. The media groups in your local area put together packages. So you may be able to have a package that includes your television, TV ads, maybe a little bit of radio, internet with internet advertising, possibly some SEO functions for search engine optimization, and possibly even newspaper. Some of these conglomerates, you just don't know what all they have, which is why you have to ask. The key word you want to use as you're visiting and negotiating with your local media is, what add value items do you have? What is going to add value to the program we're putting together? And those add values are free for the most part. As we know, it's really kind of all the package, but a lot of people will buy the package and they never ask for the add values, and so no one says anything, and you miss out on some great things. It may be a community event. It may be additional online advertising. You just don't know until you ask. And so you really want to take the time to find out everything that they can do. I know one contractor, very successful residential contractor, who is on a talk show every month with the local TV because they asked. And they are able to really talk about what's going on in roofing, seasonal hints, all those different types of things. That same contractor has a great loyalty program because they picked one media group and they do everything with them. And there's potential trips, there's more add values, there's all different types of things. So one of the things I recommend is, as you look at your local market, if you're residential and you're looking at TV, pick one network. Pick one that fits your culture, that you can really build a relationship with. Trying to do it across all networks, if you have the money, great, but that's a lot and it dilutes the effort. Whereas if you have one and you really focus on that and take advantage of everything they have to offer and all their add values, you can put a lot into that. On the commercial side, definitely get involved with your local business journal. Make sure to talk to them. They're looking for articles. They want to understand the importance of that roofing system and what it means to the building owners and the property management. And also, obviously, get involved with your local organizations, BOMA, and make sure that you are putting that into your marketing budget, but also kind of trying to figure out how best to use every part of being a part of that association, going to all the meetings, and really taking advantage, again, of some of that add values. If you're working with commercial property management magazines on a local level, again, can you write articles? Can you submit information? Because all of that is very important, and it's creative and it extends your budget. So how are you going to do this with resources? Who's going to do this for you in the business? One of the things I always recommend is first look inside. You just don't know. You don't know. There may be somebody in your organization who actually wants to go into marketing, and maybe they're in customer service but they want to, and they know how to build websites, they've been going to school for that. They're a great resource. Tap into that. They already know your business, they know what's going on, and you have a much shorter training and ability to get them up and going because they understand roofing and they understand your company. Always look inside first, and even for helping with, maybe some people are just great writers, maybe other people are a graphic designer. So even little pieces of the whole can mean save you money down the end and also help to empower and encourage your current employees. A number of contractors I've known have said, you know what, we just need to take this outside. We don't want it internally. We're swamped already. We just don't have time. So we're going to get an agency, and we're going to have someone help us with this marketing. It's great. The main thing that I would recommend on this is look for agencies who have experience with construction and definitely, if that you can, with roofing, because it's a different sell. It's a different way to market. And you will spend an enormous amount of time training agencies who have not worked in this industry, and you end up paying money to train them about the industry and not getting as much back as you really could if you worked with a company that already has worked at least in construction and preferably in roofing. And there are agencies all over the country who do great jobs at this, and they don't have to be in your backyard. That's the other thing that people get a little hung up on is, oh, I need to be able to sit down at the table with them. Between virtual meetings and phone calls, if they already understand roofing, they don't have to be in your backyard. They can help you. They probably have a lot of templates. They understand how to go to market and what they need to do. So as you're looking at that, use the resources we've already talked about. Ask people who they work with. If you have other companies that you think are doing a great job, look and see if you can see that information out there, or just search it. Your associations hopefully could point out some people too. So this needs to be a budget line in your budget for this type of work, but otherwise you're probably having someone on inside an employee do it too. The other thing to think about is kind of a hybrid opportunity, and that is to have a consultant. This consultant basically can come in and really work with you as in putting together a marketing plan, putting together a budget, training, helping to teach someone inside who maybe you've recognized who could move into marketing. And this is usually, it can be a one-time fee, it can be a retainer, it could be, once a year you get together and kind of review and see how everything is going. And there are some great consultants, some great roofing consultants out there. Again, they don't need to be in your backyard. I would ask around, ask your other contractors, associations, marketing folks of what they think. And there's a cost to it, but sometimes it can streamline it and you aren't recreating the wheel. They may already have a lot of solutions that will just make it a lot easier. And one of those would be the marketing plan. And I highly recommend this. Before you even start thinking about a budget, you need to have a plan. And that plan, we're not going to go into that today. Hopefully we'll have some other webinars on how to build a marketing plan. But really, when you think about that marketing plan, you want to step way back, just like we've talked about throughout this series, and do some evaluation and really figure out who your audience is, what's important to them, what pain are you solving for them, and then look at that audience and figure out how they get their information. Do they get it through Facebook? Do they get it through TV? Do they get it through BOMA? And then that helps you to start understanding the messaging that you need to put to them, and then the vehicles, the areas that you need to invest in order to get in front of them. And from there, you then use your marketing plan to create your budget, which ultimately you have a marketing budget that goes into your marketing plan. So by doing those exercises ahead of time, you will save money. When you're just kind of willy-nilly doing marketing and thinking it might work, that doesn't do it. You need to take that time to evaluate it. You need to have a solid plan, and you need to sustain that plan. Really doing evaluation of the metrics, coming back, seeing how many leads are coming in, how many are being converted. The whole thing that we've talked about earlier should be encapsulated in this marketing plan. And part of that, of the plan and of your marketing budget, is going to be, depending on who you are and what your business model, it will be advertising, SEO, search engine optimization, which basically is everyone, and website management, printing and collateral, memberships, that's how you network, home shows, subscriptions, and freelancers. We talked about agencies, we talked about consultants, but there's also a number of great freelancers out there who maybe only do graphic design, and that's what you need. You need a logo, or you need a new brochure. They can do that for you. Technology costs, which we discussed, and content development. All of this we've already kind of gone through in this webinar, all the different places to look for it. But as you're putting a budget together, and this sample budget kind of gives you that idea that you really want to look at how are you doing the outsourcing, how are you doing the networking, promotions. Again, we talked about it. You may want to have giveaways, and one of your vendors, one of your manufacturers may say, yeah, we'll send you 200 golf balls for you to give out. Right there you've co-branded, and you've saved some money at the same time. Printing, many of the vendors have printing accessibility where they can print brochures for you, they can print door hangers, advertising co-op, and then public relations. And so this is just a sample. It's just an idea. This is in the book. Nothing you should take verbatim, but it kind of covers a lot of the areas that are important to think about. And then within each of these areas, even though you've budgeted money, if you can then find co-op dollars or support from the industry, that only helps make this look better in the end. And to kind of finalize and bring this together, we talked at the very beginning about leadership discussions and about really talking about all of this with your key leaders. And that may be your controller, your sales director, your marketing person, your operations director, whoever is your key leadership team in your company. This should be evaluated every year. So if you're starting this year, have these discussions. If you have been doing it, you already have a good marketing group or one that you want to kind of improve, do an evaluation again and use some of these discussion points to really have that discussion, because it all starts with you and your employees. The employees, I know many of you have heard this, but they are your brand ambassadors. So really, no matter what marketing program you put together, no matter what sales program you put together, and no matter how creative you are on it, if you don't have your employees as part of it and backing this program and messaging the same message that you want out there into the your local market, it's not going to work. So bring your employees in, make them a part of this process. Definitely communicate it once you have a plan put together. Where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? So that they can share that through their networks in that community and really bring it all together so that there is this amazing brand out there for your company. And you've done it in ways that attract, convert, close, and delight. So thank you so much for your time. We're going to be open for questions, and like we talked about before, this whole series was really developed from the Sales and Marketing for Roofing Contractors book, put together by myself and my dear friend Karen Edwards, who does consulting. And this is a way to really go through this process that we've been talking about in all these webinars. The webinars are all recorded. So you have right there a resource from NRCA through this book, these recordings, and the 30-minute marketing consultations that NRCA offers to all contractor members. So that will start you out right there on a creative road to keeping your marketing budget within hand. So I'm open for questions. Brad?
Thank you, Heidi. I'll give everyone a chance to type in any questions they may have. In the meantime, big thanks to you, Heidi, for all the webinars you did for us this year. Again, I want to remind everyone today's webinar has been recorded. It will be posted to the NRCA website next week. This is our final webinar presentation of 2016, but be sure to check out our January presentations. They're not posted to our website yet, but they will be soon. You can check out those other presentations and view recorded webinars if there are presentations you may have missed recently or even in the last year. You can find those at nrca.net/webinar. We will be continuing our weekly webinar series in 2017, so that's exciting. Many topics, including marketing topics, other business management topics. On the technical side, we have presentations, safety, etc. So lots to choose from. Heidi, it appears we don't have any questions today, but if any of you have anything that you'd like to contact Heidi about afterwards, her contact information is right there in front of you with her email address. And do be sure to check out the marketing resources link on our website, which has links to the book as well as other resources. All right, I think that's all. So happy holidays, everyone. Thanks again, Heidi, and thank you to all of you for joining us, taking time out of your day.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays to everyone.